birds? I mean, look at this bird right here. Bird, fucking, like, anyways. What's up, everybody? So I've been getting plenty of questions ever since I did this thing to my car, this wide body thing. I've been getting multiple questions per week, just about like where I got the flares, how they were installed, where to look for flares, what companies to look for, the price range, all the related stuff with it. So I'm gonna make a Q&A video. So the general questions I'm gonna answer are like where I got the flares, where I'd recommend getting flares, what price you can expect to pay, and related like installation issues that you might run into. Let's talk about the flares that I have. I have Fiberglass Fender flares. They are replicas of the Carlton Fender flares. And these Fender flares were handmade by a guy in Florida, I believe. You can find them on eBay. Just type in, I don't know, Subaru Fender flares, and you'll eventually find, he usually uses a picture of a white Subaru that looks like they have Carlton Fender flares. Do not be mistaken. I don't like talking shit on products or people, but these Fender flares, the fitment was terrible. These flares they're simply too small. Yeah, fitment, horrible. Would not recommend these Fender flares that I have right now. You'll have to do a lot of cutting of the Fender flares themselves. The bodywork is kind of shitty. They're not even, they're not perfectly rounded, they're just nasty. They don't fit right. They're too small for the Subaru. If you're considering buying these flares, please reconsider. So that's what I have. Now for you, if you're looking for Fender flares, there's a couple different things you can look for. Like I said, firstly, ABW makes amazing Fender flares. I would highly recommend them. Then you have Forcewerkz. Forcewerkz is the second company that I'd recommend if you're looking for these pocket style Fender flares that are made for the Subaru. Now I don't know too much about them. I don't know if their fitment's good or not. It could be kind of shitty. I honestly don't know, but I do see them quite a bit, so that means that a company is still making them. Next up would be the universal Fender flares. So yeah, pocket style universal Fender flares. Look into different widths and sizes. A lot of them are 2 inches to 3 inches in diameter in width. So you're gonna want to experiment with that. They're generally gonna be around $200. The Forcewerkz are gonna be around $500 to $600, and the ABWs are gonna be about $700 to $800. But I recommend staying away from the eBay $500-ish Carlton reps, okay? Because these are shit. And one day I'll replace them, but for now, you know, I made them work. So yeah, those are the flares, those are the prices. Now as for the installation and the wheel fitment, there's two different choices you have. The goal with fitting wheels and tires to a Subaru or anything with flares is you want the tire and wheel to stick out from the body. So in order to do that, you either need an extremely wide wheel. For our cars, you'd need like a 10-inch to an 11-inch wide wheel with a really low positive offset. So you'd be lower around like a 10 to 15 offset with a 10 to 11 size wheel. I have 9-inch wide wheels, so my offset had to be more in order to get it out more, to stick out from the body. So I have a plus 12 offset with a 9-inch wheel. It simply wasn't wide enough to stick out to accommodate the space that the flares were giving me. So I got spacers, 1-inch spacers, which are 25 millimeters, so that would make the offset a negative 13, which is perfect for the width and all that. So 9-inch wide, you're going to want a negative offset. 10 and 11 inches wide, you're going to want a very low positive offset. And as for tire fitment, that's all you. If you like the stretch tire look, or if you like the meaty look that I have, it's all up to you. Expect that you're going to have to cut your fenders. Your front fenders are definitely going to have to be cut. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you want to turn your wheel the whole way, or if you want to keep from ripping up your tire on the metal fender, you're going to have to cut them. It's just the way it is. So if that scares you away, no worries, just do not do the fender flares. You can't flare your car without cutting the front fenders. Now the rear quarters is even more sketchy. You don't have to cut them, but you're not going to be able to sit as low. I'm as low as I can get because ideally my car and I like being able to go over bumps without worrying about destroying everything I have. So I have about an inch or two of play. Actually, no, I have like an inch of play. The front is about a half an inch, the back is about an inch. That way there's some suspension travel without completely breaking everything. But you know, this is just, it all depends on your goals and the look you're going for. If you're looking for that super slammed, flush, wide fitment, then you're gonna have to cut your fenders, you're gonna have to cut your quarters. What you do is you cut them along the, pretend this is the wheel arch, you're gonna have to cut the fender like this, and then you're gonna have to roll the metal flaps backwards, okay? That way you don't have a sharp edge in case you hit something big or something and your wheel goes up and your tire gets shredded. You don't want your tire to hit anything, right? So cut your fenders like this and roll the metal back. Now the inner wheel well, you're gonna have to ditch the guard or whatever you want to call it, the plastic part that goes on your wheel well. You're gonna have to get rid of that. Pull it out. You're also gonna have to hammer the living shit out of your rear, like your rear wheel well, because there's metal like seams. So, you know, with your wheel fitment, you're probably gonna scrape if you hit anything hard. Like, you see how shitty these roads are. My suspension is traveling. If I didn't cut that, they would just dig into my tire and eventually my tire would just pop, be shredded into nothing real quick. Take all that into consideration. There's no such thing as bolt-on fender flares and you can go. You gotta do a lot of cutting, gotta do some body work. As for handling and performance, this car handles real good. So, and since I have such a wide footprint now, this car hugs the turns real well. And if you guys hear any popping in the background and my coilover is starting to pop, I have really cheap EM USA coilovers. I think I just scraped hard there, holy shit. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. I recommend if you're gonna fender flare your car, either go with ABW fender flares, expensive yes, but your fitment will be pristine, or get universal fender flares. I'm not too sure about Forcewerkz, but I'd say the next thing would be to get universals. So yeah, like I said, if worrying about rubbing is an issue, if worrying about cutting your quarters or fenders is an issue, if worrying about possibly receiving fender flares that don't fit your car at all is an issue, then please just hold off on the fender flares. Just hold off. You know, if you want to be happy with your car, take your time. Don't rush things. I've learned that too. I mean, that's a big lesson to learn right there. Don't rush things. If you want it to turn out real good, don't rush it. Take your time. Do your research. It's easy to want to just rush your installs. I have really cheap EM USA coilovers. I think I just scraped hard there. Holy shit.